Thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. It's our season finale for my Happy Ass Live. Not finale, but season finale. So where I regroup the next few weeks and come up with content and come up with our guests and start taping guests and things like that. But we're just going to do a little recap. We're also going to talk about something. The title of this today is What Are You Waiting For? What are you waiting for? And I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me yesterday. And I'm so glad that I finally said to myself, what are you waiting for? And I did it. So y'all, if you can see my leg is wrapped in it's got like pads on it, and then it's got ointment, then it's got an ace wrap, then it's got another wrap because I fell in a pool drain. And if you saw my gratitude yesterday, I posted it. The first thing on there said, I am so thankful I didn't break my leg. I'm so thankful. And one of my friends said, you know what? I wonder what would have happened 2 years ago had that happened. Would it be the same outcome? Because 2.5 years ago, after COVID, after just being so sick from COVID and being so sick of being overweight. And I know a lot of you said, oh, you weren't overweight. Yes, I was. I was, weighed 130 pounds. Now I weigh 105 pounds. I was full of inflammation. I got colds a lot. Um, Clearly COVID about took me down, and I just got tired of it and I sought help. I sought help. What was I waiting for? I thought about it all the time, but I sought help and I got a fitness coach and I started doing things to change my body because this whole podcast is about mind, body, and spirit, right? Mind, body, and spirit. And you got to have all three. You can't be a whole person and doing the things that God intends you to do without all three. Now, let's face it. I don't know when we figure it out. I mean, I knew for a long time I needed to do something about my health and really improve my health. But did I do it? I didn't, you know? So I finally did. And so I fell in that hole. I did not break my leg. I was able, I just scraped it up really, really bad. I did have to go get a tetanus shot and I'm great. I'm doing great. And I promise you, I have said to God about 20 times already, thank you, God, that I didn't break my leg. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So really, the scrape, the banged upness or whatever is just an inconvenience. So I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? What is got to change? What kind of pain has to happen in you for you to change? And for most of us, it's got to be painful. It's got to be painful. For me, I've grown up in addiction. And the pain of addiction in my family members was so painful for me, especially with your your kids that are addicted. And some days I went, God, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get out of bed. Well, I couldn't live that way. And a friend said to me today, she said, I know you're happy that, I'm not going to name the family member, but a family member is sober. And I am. I'm very happy that they're sober today. But guess what? I learned a long time ago, y'all, a long time ago, that my happiness could not and shall not and will not ever be dependent on what someone else is doing or not doing. You can't. I mean, that's really hard for a mama, y'all. That's so hard for a mama. And I know that for me, I, you know, I was reading a book recently about growing pains. And did you ever have growing pains when you were a little kid? I did. In the middle of the night, I would have growing pains and it would hurt so bad, like my shin and my calves and it would hurt so bad. I mean, and it wasn't a Charlie horse. It was just pain in the bones. And my mom would say, it's growing pains. And just like the author of this book, oh, I hope I can remember her name. It's, something about the heart of waiting or something. She wrote Secret Life of Bees, Sue Monk Kidd. And she was talking to her son, and her son was talking about how much he hated growing pains, just like I did. And she said, but you want to grow, right? You want to grow. And I'm sorry. I wish I had different news or better news, but it's impossible to grow without the growing pains. So I want to read you something that I read this morning, and this is so cool. Months ago, um, Mel Robinson was talking about the books that made a huge difference in her life. And one of the books is so cool is this book by Mark Nepo. I hope I've got this right. The Book of Awakening. And I remember thinking, oh, I want that book. I want that book. And the book was written quite a while ago, so it's not a new book. And guess what? I finally, y'all cleaned out some of my husband's books. Hugh Smith, my most precious man ever walked the face of the earth, just so you know. And he had this book in his stash. He had this book waiting for me. The book was waiting for me. So I picked up the book. So this is what I may not read all of it, but I want to read you this. This is so, so cool. It said, these are the signs. Pain is often a sign that something has to change. Our hearts and bodies often give us messages we fail to pay attention to. Ironically, we are all so aware of pain, can hardly ignore it, but we rarely hear what it has to say. It is true that we may need to withstand great pain, great heartache, great disappointment, and loss in order to unfold into the rest of our lives. But our pain may also be showing us exactly where we need to change. If we view our bodies as bridges that carry us from our inner life to the outer world, then pain often gives us insight as to where the bridge is experiencing the most stress. Pain lets us know where we might crack, where our lives need to be reinforced and rested in order for us to keep bringing our inner and outer lives together. Then he talks about his cancer struggle. He had cancer and had to go through chemo, and he had to make the decision of when was enough enough. When was he experiencing enough pain of the chemo to do something different? And he had to make that decision. But for us, it's an individual thing. When we're for the things in our life that are causing us pain. And they usually continue to cause us pain. For me, it was always the area of addiction in my family. I grew up in a very, very addicted home when I was little. I told you about that. I made the decision at 10 years of age, y'all. I remember it vividly. I remember vividly sitting on my bed, surrounded by books, just like I am right now, and reading those books and writing about it and writing affirmations because I saw that other people had been through horrific struggle and had made it to the other side. Why not me? Well, they used their pain to do something different with their lives. So I believe that I could too. I believe that I was meant for something better and greater. So I made that decision at a very young age to have a life of affirmation, to have a life of positive thought, and to really tap into things. Now, I'm not going to talk about that today, but I will. I'll talk about something that really, really impacted my life. May address it next season, but it's very personal about how sick I was as a young person and how we realized that the way through that was mind body connection. And I did it. And I still use that today in my life and in my world, but I'll talk about that later. But what is the pain that you're experiencing? You don't have to keep having that pain. You don't have to do it. For me, 2.5 years ago, I reached out to Jennifer Berg. I said, help me. I need help. And guess what? I listened to what she told me to do. I trust the people that have gone before me that have done it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, but I can change my life. I'm 66 years old. I'm telling you, I don't care how old you are, how young you are. If you are tired of the pain of something that's holding you back, you can change. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. It's like that cocoon, the cocooning. She talks about that a lot in the book, In the Quiet. Y'all, I'm terrible at remembering names of books. I will put it in the show notes, y'all. The name of the book by Sue Monk Kidd. That's just a life-changing book for me. That Angie Thompson read and she loved it. I'm reading it now. I'm using it kind of as a spiritual guide at the moment. Wonderful book. But she talks about the fact, and you've heard this story before, of the cocoon, that when you're in the cocoon, where you're in that place of waiting in the cocoon, you don't think anything's happening, but something amazing is happening. And the problem is, if someone tries to open the cocoon before it's ready, if they try to help that person out, you damage that person. You damage that cocoon. You damage that new growth inside. You can't rush it. It's in the waiting. It's in the quiet. It's in the attention to the innermost being of yourself. And y'all, that's what I've done all my life with addiction. I've had to do that with addiction because if not, it would absolutely take me under. Again, I'm not going to address this too much here, but I've had a family member who has been in and out of addiction recovery for a long time. And it's been so hard. It has been heartbreaking. That has all been going on this whole time that I've been doing happy ass. There's days where I wanted to stop doing this. When I said, how can I go on here and talk to people about growth and encouragement when I right now am living in one of the toughest times of my life? Well, because I know that the only way through something is through it. The only way through something is to dig into your inner strength and make a decision. If what's stopping me. And for me, that was trusting my higher power, which is God for me, and trusting that he has a great life for me and that I make the decision how my life goes, not other people. So I want to talk about a few things. But before we do though, I want to thank my sponsors. Let me thank my sponsors. Y'all, I am so thankful for my sponsors. I could not be doing this because there's things that have to be paid. My financial situation has changed over the last few years. It's not as robust as it once was. And that's okay. I'm still eating. I still have a darling car. I still have cute clothes. I, I'm doing okay. I've got a house that I love. I am blessed tremendously, but I'm having to be a little wiser about my money. So I have sponsors and I'm so thankful. So the Final Touch Design, y'all, Skip and Marsha Wall. And they didn't do this for monetary reasons. They did this because they believe in what I do here at My Happy Ass Life. They want to be a part of bringing light into the world, bringing joy into the world, helping people grow mind, body, and spirit. Because that is what it's all about while we're here, right? So they have the Final Touch Design. They remodel kitchens, bathrooms, all the things. Basically, if you want to put a final touch on something that's lovely and beautiful, they got you covered. They did my summer kitchen. It's not too late this time of year to get a summer kitchen. Heck, we use summer kitchens all year long here. So if you want to see a beautiful summer kitchen, please come to Beachy Beach Real Estate. I will show you my summer kitchen and their information will be in the show notes. Skip and Marsha Wall from Final Touch Design. Thank you for loving me enough to do this for me. And y'all, I've already told you many times over that money has not been my spiritual gift at all. So I have to rely on other people that are smarter than me, which is a whole bunch of people. One of those is Brian Yormack from Baytax. They did a cost segregation with me on this building. They also helped me get ERC credits because I kept everybody working during COVID. Y'all, they are phenomenal. I love my buddy, Brian Yormack. He'll be glad to talk to you. If he'll give you a free consult to let you know if this might work for you. If you're doing a remodel and it's $500,000 or more, then you definitely need to talk to him because you can save some big, big, big tax money. And that's more money to give away to others. So there you go. And of course, last but not least are my precious, precious company, Beachy Beach, that also supports me in this because they know that business is not just business. Business is how you treat others, how you love others, and how you share your heart with others. So thank you to those precious sponsors. Okay. So I want to do a little bit of wrap up of what we talked about last year and kind of integrate it into some things. But I also want to talk about some things that I got wrong. And a friend called me today. And you know what's funny? I was already thinking I needed to kind of correct this. Let me find my notes. Favorite podcasts, which I have many favorites. Excuse me, got something. Um, is Lacey Counts. Lacey Counts. I have wanted her to be on the podcast for quite a while. And I don't know if you know Lacey Counts, but Lacey Branch Counts is Alan Branch's sister. She's the daughter of Jimmy. Do I get no? Is it Jimmy? I always get it mixed with Jimmy and Johnny. I think it's Jimmy. I know him. Hassimi's Precious, and Alice Branch. Wonderful, delightful people. And she was on the podcast and she was very vulnerable about some struggles that she had had and what brought her to where she is today. And one of the things she said that really stuck my heart, but it also stuck my heart in such a way that I became very vulnerable and started sharing some things and they might have been taken out of context. So I'm going to kind of clear them up a little bit because my girlfriend Jody called me. Well, we talked today because we'll talk on the way from somewhere to somewhere. We don't get to see each other much anymore because we're both so busy, but we always check in because we love each other and we got each other's back always. We don't, time and distance does not separate us. So Jody and I were talking and she asked me about something and this is what happened. Um, she was talking about, Lacey was talking about the fact that one day her husband, because she has a child that is severely autistic, severely and not pretty nonverbal. And it's been a real struggle for them, obviously, because you have a child and you anticipate all the things you want for your child. And that is not available to them. And one day her husband, Stephen, said, you know what? We're done grieving about this. We're done. This is it. We're not doing this anymore. Please go back and listen to that episode so you can hear how she tells it. She does it a lot better than me. We're not doing this anymore. We are through grieving this. We're going to move forward. We're going to enjoy our child. We're going to enjoy our lives. We're done. And she said that if anybody wanted to have a pity party with her, that she didn't play because that was no longer. They had left that part behind. And that made me really think about things. It made me really dive deep into what are some of the things that I may be holding on to, or I may not be being honest about, or I may not be coming to terms with. And one of them is this. We were talking about girls' trips and stuff like that. Well, um, like I said, with Jennifer Berg, I tell Jennifer Berg a lot of stuff that I still don't even say to my best friend, that I still don't say to others. And it's not my best friend's problems that I can't talk about it. It's me. There's places in me that I have a hard time opening up about. I have a hard time opening that can, so to speak, because once you open that can, it's out. And fear of judgment. And the fear of judgment has nothing to do with that other person, has nothing to do with that other person. It has to do with the people pleasing in me that doesn't want to disappoint people, that wants to be the best at what I do, the best friend, the best boss, the best mom, the best podcaster, all those things. I want to do those things. And that's okay. It's great to want to be good at something, but you don't need to let that wanting to be good at something scare you into taking risk and chances on things, right? So I made the comment that I didn't even talk to my girlfriends about this. And then I said something, I don't really have girlfriends. What I meant to say is I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I really don't. I know a lot of people, but I have a very, very, very tight little circle of people that I really open up to. And it's a tiny, tight circle. And to be honest with you, I have a tiny, tight circle of what I even open up about. Some things that I'm an open book. I will just tell you everything. Some things I'm very reticent of speaking about it. Okay. So I said, I don't have girlfriends. And Jody said, what do you mean you don't have girlfriends? What am I? Chopped liver? She didn't say chopped liver. I added that for, for value, but, and I said, no, you are a good friend to me. You're a wonderful friend to me. And so I had to clarify that. And what else did I say? Oh, I didn't talk to people. And I don't. And again, that's not their fault. There's a lot of stuff that I don't share with people and I'm working on that. And I'm probably going to go to therapy again so I can learn how to do that. I am not quite the people pleaser I used to be. And I don't think I could accomplish what I've accomplished if I was, but I still spend too much time. I don't know about you, but I spend way too much time stuck in what will somebody think of me? What will they say? What will they think? And I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So I don't know about you if that's something you do, but I had to clear that up. So yes, I have a few girlfriends, a few, not very many. I have people that I know and I love and I'm acquaintances with, and I will love you and I love to love people. I am better at hearing what you have to say to me than I am at telling you my innermost being. I come closer to talking about stuff on this podcast, y'all, than I do from talking to people sometimes. And sometimes I get carried away and I talk about things and go, whoops, did I just say that? So there you go. So some of the other things that I want to talk to you about today is some of the people, like again, Jennifer Berg was one of my favorite podcasts too. And she and I talked about, what we were doing together with our fitness journey. And a lot of it wasn't about fitness. A lot of it was about the underpinnings of what caused that. Because y'all, just like drug addiction, overeating, over shopping, which I can tend to do, not being mindful about your money. There's some very deep underpinnings. So that pinnings of that. So that's why we got to say, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Why aren't we looking at that so we can dig a little deeper and figure those things out? I'm so thankful God has allowed me to live these 66 years, and hopefully he'll allow me to live like 40 more so I can work on all those things and I can dive deeper into the passion of the soul of me, of what I'm put here, my soul's work. That's what I want to do. So the other thing is, so Jennifer Berg was a great one. So if you didn't listen to that one, go back. Well, my daughter was wonderful and we got into a few things, and my daughter is very compassionate, cares deeply about people who have mental disorders, mental health. We talk a lot about mental health. It's not so much a disorder, but it's mental health. We pay attention to our physical health. We pay attention to so many things, but we don't spend time on our mental health. And she's passionate about that. She's also just recently started really paying more attention to her artistic side, writing 2 books. She has done, she's in a band now, Red Sky River, her and Matt Siegel. They're wonderful, doing a great job there. So she's trying to find more of her soul's work too. We talk about that a lot because we both are very creative and we like to get into the deeper things, not the surface level. And sometimes we can't do that in our job, our real job. So we have to find other outlets for that. So please go back and listen to that podcast. Of course, I had a podcast with Jody, and she shared our heart with us about her struggles with her mom, with her narcissistic mom. That was a great, great episode. So please go back and listen to that one. I think you'll love that one. Josh Taylor. Oh my gosh, y'all. Josh Taylor has a podcast called The Next Right Question. Oh my gosh, so good. And the thing that sticks with me that he said that day was, what does this make possible? He got lost his job, and his wife, who was usually very cautious and wanted everything just planned out and didn't want to have risk and adversity, said to him when he came home and lost his job and was afraid to tell her, what does this make possible? You know, I think about that, and what are we waiting for? What does this make possible? What can we do with this one beautiful, amazing life that we've got? So those are things that we explored. Jessica Ayers talked to us about grief. Lost her husband, y'all, I think 2 or 3 days after her son was born. Their beautiful son was born. And she has since created this beautiful life that was built from this horrible, horrific grief. She wrote a great book, and I would put that in the show notes as well. Please get that book. Jessica also helps me with my Instagram reels and helps me with my Happy A business coaching that I'm doing now. She helps me figure all the branding out for that. So she's amazing. So please go listen to that. Another person that we had on that, oh my gosh, that tells it like it is Coach JT. Oh my gosh. Thompson, JT Thompson. I mean, He says things that I would like to say. I probably would say them a lot sweeter, but he is a fitness and wellness coach, and he is passionate. He's passionate about helping people become healthier so they can live a life that's disease free. So check him out. All those people just did such a beautiful job. Y'all, so coming up, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about a lot of the things that I have been through, and I hear a lot of you are struggling with. We're going to talk more about codependency and addiction. We'll talk a little bit about my fitness journey, not so much in the area of nutrition, even though I love nutrition. I love it. I went to school for nutrition, my first degree. I know. Imagine that. But we're going to talk a lot about weight training and fitness because y'all, I believe that my weight training that I've been doing in 2.5 years is the reason that I've got scratches and I'm banged up and I don't have a broken leg. My bones and my body are strong. They're stronger now at age 66 as they were than they were at 40 because I have been mindful and consistent and strategic, and I have no excuses. No excuses. I get that workout in, y'all. No excuses. It happens. And you can too. So we're going to talk about that. And so what I'd love to know from you, from my audience, is what are some things you would love to talk about? What are some of the things that you want to dive deeper into? For me, it's codependency. I'm better at that, but I still have a tendency to do that. I still have a tendency to believe that with a cape and tiara, I can change the world. And we're going to talk about this too. We're going to talk about being kind on social media more because that is a thing of mine. You will never, ever, ever ever, ever see me put something unkind on social media. Not happening. I'm not going to criticize a group of people. I'm not going to just be unkind to any group ever, ever. I hope that my life out there reflects my life right here. I told you the story last season about a guy that always talks ugly on social media. Oh my God, he blasts people and he would like show their text, and it was just awful and it was so bad. So I was afraid of him, and he's in my industry, and I thought, oh my God, I don't want to have to talk to this guy. Y'all, he was a nice guy. He was easy to do a deal with. He could not have been more kind. He was, but I didn't know that about him because his social media persona said he wasn't kind, but he's very kind, very easy to talk to, very easy to be. So I just hope that I can convince the world for everything you do, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at church, whether you're speaking before a group, whether you're at your job, that it reflects who you are. It reflects the soul of you, the soul of you, the God given, beautiful soul of you. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on being more soul conscious, being more of who God designed me to be and less of what he did not design me to be. And if you like those kind of topics, please join us for next season of My Happy Ass Life, where we will address all these topics. Y'all could do me the biggest favor. Please go to Apple Music and like it and review it. Same way with, I think on Spotify, you just have to review each episode. You can't review the whole podcast. So if you could do that, if you could share this with others, I would appreciate that. This particular episode will come out on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, YouTube, probably sometime today when my precious Ashley Feller does it. So thank you to Ashley Feller so much for putting this together. Thank you for Jessica Ayers for having my back and going with me when I speak. I do speak places. I am charging now for speaking because I've done it for fun and for free all these years, but I now charge for it. It's my job. It's part of my job. And I also will go to your business and coach your business about how to have a more mindful business, how to have a business that has the most fabulous culture. Because I'm telling you, I don't care what is going on in your business, how good you are. Without a good and loving culture, you will not survive the way you want to survive, and you certainly won't thrive. So talk to me about those things. Y'all, I'm going to end with a affirmation like I always do, but I don't know which one to do. Which one do I do? Did I get everybody that wanted to talk about? Oh, y'all, I forgot to talk about Brian. Oh my gosh. I forgot to talk about Brian Baber, and I have to do that before I leave. So Brian Baber was also one of my wonderful, wonderful podcast guest. He was just the last guest, actually. And he talked a lot about faith. He talked a lot about fitness, about his fitness journey. He and I talked about the fact that we both lost our fanny during 2008. We lost our fanny. We talk about that. We talk about the changes that we made in our life after losing our fanny in 2008. He talks about his commitment to his family. He talks about his commitment to his faith. And Brian is just a good human. And he said something to me that I'm gonna admit something to y'all. Got a confession. You know, I confess to y'all a lot on here, right? So at night, sometimes I will find myself scrolling mindlessly through Instagram. And my feed is really happy. It's got a lot of happy stuff. So it's not like I'm doing negative stuff, but I'm spending way too much time on that. I could be writing my book, right? I could be planning a podcast. I could just be reading. I could be doing so many things, but I'm mindlessly scrolling. And I said something about we would send it do this to Facebook, and Brian said, "Oh, I don't have that." He said, "I realized that I had a tendency to be addicted to that. I had a tendency to pay attention to that and not the other things I needed to pay attention to." And I went, "Wow, I am so impressed with that." I'm not there yet. But those are the things that you can hear if you tune into my podcast. I invite my friends. I invite people I love, like Jennifer Vigil. She was on here talking about running. Oh my gosh, she has this big thing that she does. And she's a very powerful leader and person in our community, but she's very tender and kind. I love that, y'all, in a leader that is tender and kind and loves others. And she's hilarious too, by the way. So I think that is what I want to wrap up for this season, other than doing an affirmation before we leave. And you know what? I did several. So I don't know if I want to do creative and lively. I think I want to do creative and lively. Yeah. I have another one, but I think I'll do this one. Okay. You can hear all these in my book when I get them finished. Yeah. So y'all need to get on to me about that. So here we are, creative and lively. I am a creative and lively spiritual being. Each change, trial, and challenge is preparing me for my next. The cocooning is vital for me to become my most authentic self. There is no growth without trial. I am working on the soul of me, my greatest work ever. There is no joy without the opposite to understand the full power of that joy. I am once again in my becoming, and God is smack in the middle of it all. And so it is. I'm going to say this one more time. I am working on the soul of me, my greatest work ever. And y'all, if you want to work on the soul of you, the part that matters more than any of the things out there, the thing that will help you do all the things out there. That thing in you that will help you love all of God's kids. It's the soul of you. It's that most important part of you. And with God's help and with the help of each other and with the love of each other, I think we can do that. So join me. Thank you for joining me last season. Thank you for joining me the next season. And I will see y'all there. Be sweet, y'all. Bye.